To you, this is Breeze FM 99.9. Glad to know that you are still out there. And as announced by the continuing announcer, Salome, that this is a special interview program on coming from the Public and Private Development Center. It's here in Nasarawa State, where we have the program manager, Public and Private Development Center in the studios, and we're talking on the topic changing lives through justice, the PPDC impact. That's the Public-Private Development Center impact. Yes, if you recall, in the past, let's say about the past year, about a year or thereabout, they've been trying to make a great impact when it comes to the managing of our courts on a digital platform and just digital courts, as it were. And a series of times seen that during the COVID-19, where accessibility was restricted, and then there was need for justice to be given or to be served, and they will need to have virtual court. And PPDC came to the fore, or was bettered alongside other systems. So right now we will have in the studio Joshua Uba, the Nasarawa State Programme Manager, Public and Private Development Center. Yes, let me bring him up to speed. Mr. Joshua Uba, you're welcome to Breeze FM this very morning.
Thank you, and welcome listeners to this special show.
Very well, you are welcome, listener, as Mr. Obasani has really put you on the spot there. So you need to hear, because there's something new, something special, something you need to have a feel of. Maybe you've been hearing about it, but now it's coming straight to your eardrums right where you are. My name is Edwin Philip. Yes. Let me begin this way. Can you briefly introduce the Access to Justice initiative and the motivation behind it? Yes, let's know briefly to introduce to us the Access to Justice initiative and the motivation behind this very endeavor.
Okay, good morning once again, listeners. So the Access to Justice initiatives of the PPDC, by the way, PPDC stands for Public and Private Development Center. It is a non-governmental organization founded in 2003. So the Access to Justice initiative is ultimately aimed to enhance justice in Nigeria, to make justice swifter and faster without compromising its core integrity or values in Nigeria. That is what the Access to Justice initiative of the PPDC is all about. And in PPDC, we have two projects running, especially in Nasarawa State, under our Access to Justice initiative. We have the Court Administration and Case Management Project called the CSM project, and we have the Reforming Pretrial Detention in Nigerian project. Those are the two projects running under our current Access to Justice initiatives.
Now, briefly, can you just tell the listener Access to Justice initiative in a nutshell? If you're telling a novice or somebody who don't have or is not familiar with it, does it mean that going to regular court or virtual courts, or how do you assess justice? Your initiative in this regard.
Okay, we have noticed in PPDC, we have noticed that court processes were somewhat slow, and they were not easily accessible to persons, to ordinary Nigerians. We have cases of court persons that handles the court administration systems. Their capacities were low. They are not properly trained and regularly trained too. We also have cases of justice. Justice was being delayed. We have instances where a matter would take almost a lifetime of a person pursuing one particular matter in court. And one thing we noticed was because of the slowness in the system, and this slowness is caused by, especially in criminal trials, is caused by several factors. I could mention a few. We have logistics problem. Most times when there are issues of security breaches or threats, the correctional center, of course, will not take inmates to court for them to have their day in court. When there are issues, when we have bad weather, we know in this part of the world, the weather could change at any particular time. When we have weather like rainfall, the correctional officials might not want to take inmates to court. And we find out that the best thing you could do to someone that is in prison, that is in custody, is for him to have his day in court, for him to know whether he is innocent or he is guilty, as charged by the prosecuting team. So, to ameliorate these challenges, and also have cases of piles of court documents. When you go to the judiciary, you see case files littered all around the places. These case files represent human beings. They are files that they use in prosecuting persons like I and you. And sometimes we have cases where some of the documents in court, we call them processes. Some of the documents inside the case files are missing. And with this, justice can be subverted, or justice can be delayed, or justice can be denied. So these are the factors. Then we'll now go over to pretrial detention. We have cases, some persons, they spend a huge number of years in the prison without seeing the four walls of the courtroom. For instance, a particular offense that might take 2 years, if the person is convicted, you find out that the person is already spending 5 years, 6 years in the custodial center. And what happens in that 6 years? He is taking taxpayers' money, because any person that is in the prison, the government feeds the person, the government takes care of the person. So the person is consuming taxpayers' money, ordinary for a matter of an offense that if he was convicted, he would have spent like 2 years. We have also cases of persons in police stations. Persons are indigent, they cannot afford a lawyer.
Okay, let me pause you there. You've mentioned a quite deal of challenge, and that how case file represent human being, which I can always attest to that, because every inmate want to see the court, or want to go to the court, and want to be heard guilty or not. Some of them are awaiting trial. That's even worse than the entire thing. You are accused, but then no, you've not had your day in court, and just awaiting trial. Your years or term has not been counted, and you be there for like 3 to 4 years, which I think you people have come to the rescue. Now let me ask this question now. What specific role does PPDC play in addressing these issues? Talking about the issues around here now. What have you been trying to role does play in addressing these issues at the police station and courtroom levels? You know, before it happens, the police will first of all bundle somebody to the court or to the prison and thereabout, and then the next time it goes to the court. How do you prevent nip it in the bud at the police station level?
And the courtroom. Beautifully. So let me start from the police station. In PPDC, we have in Lafayette currently, we have duty solicitors. We call them duty solicitors. These are lawyers, young lawyers that are serving under the NYSC scheme, that PPDC trained and mobilized and equipped them with the requisite knowledge and tools. They are stationed in all police stations in Lafayette Metropolis. Once a suspect is arrested at the police station, if he or she is indigent, meaning that he does not have money to afford, he cannot afford a lawyer, we already have a lawyer stationed at the police station pro bono to provide free legal services to that inmate. And then it is a two-way thing. We don't only provide services to the inmate, we also provide services to police officers, because there are some cases the police officers would want to ask our lawyer and say, in this case, what does the law say? What does the law doesn't say? And our lawyers will be there to provide these services pro bono. Again, now let's go to the courts. In the court, as I said, we now have what we call virtual hearing facilities. Virtual hearing facilities equipped with speech to text. One of the challenges again in the judiciary is that our judges, they use longhand, that is biro and pen, to write everything that is ongoing in the court. And in fact, most of them, they die young, they suffer from several diseases as a result of that. The PPDC presently in Nasarawa State has equipped 8 courtroom, we call it digitization, as it is 8 courtroom, equipping them with virtual court facilities. In the case that you don't need to come to the station, to the courtroom to have your day in court. You can be at the custodial center, and whereas the court officials are the judges in the courtroom, from there you have your trials in court. We have also rearranged and sorted our case files. In fact, if you go to the High Court now, it is looking like what you find in Europe. We sorted all those case files that were littered all along the hallways and bust them and built set up a standard record center whereby these case files are kept properly. In 100 years time you could find them, and with a click of a computer button you could find out, locate where a particular court is. And also PPDC has also we did what we called secretarial pool. We noticed that some courts, this is not peculiar to Nasarawa State, some courts, especially the lower courts, they do not have computer system to type court processes. And court processes are supposed to be confidential. So what we did, we have set up 2 secretarial pool, one in Lafia and another one in Kefi, where the judges, the magistrates, and the officials could type court processes free. And then the custodial center. What we are doing in the custodial center is that we have a partnership with the Nasarawa State University, the law faculty, whereby we have law clinicians. Law clinicians are undergraduates in the faculty. We take them to custodial center. They interview inmates that do not have lawyers. When they interview them, we now have a pool of lawyers that take up their matters pro bono and then go to court on behalf of these inmates in the correctional center that do not have lawyers. And we have recorded a huge number of successes, huge number of releases out of them.
All right, listener, in case just tuned in, this is Breeze FM 99.9, and it's a special interview program with the Public and Private Development Center, and we're talking on speaking on the topic changing lives through justice, the PPDC impact. That's the Private Public Development Center impact. And we have in the studios Mr. Joshua Uba, the Nasarawa State Programme Manager, Public and Private Development Center. And we've been putting him on the spot to tell us what they've been doing since they came into Nasarawa State. And you heard him right, that they have a presence in Lafia and Kefi and recording tremendous success. Then let me ask again, how has your presence in correctional facilities and police station helped reduce cases of arbitrary arrest and unlawful detention? I'm particularly concerned about juvenile people who maybe they raid on the area, and they are dumped in the police or correctional centers. How do you do about this issue of arbitrary arrest? Can you nip, because it's amount to nipping it in the bud at that level? So what's your awareness creation? What's your impact around the axis of arbitrary arrest?
Okay, I would say that, just as I said earlier, we have our lawyers, duty solicitors, stationed at the police station. So once a suspect is arrested, if he is unlawfully arrested, we have our lawyer there that will advise policemen and say, sir, please, sir, this man, this is what the law says, this is what the law says, this is what the law says. The law says somebody that is arrested should be charged to court within 24 hours or at most 48 hours. Our lawyers are already at the police stations advising policemen and also advising the suspects about their rights. When you are arrested in Nigeria, the law says you have a right to remain quiet or to speak when you have somebody of your choice, your lawyer, your chief, or somebody you respect. So we advise lawyers, our suspects rather, and tell them these are their rights. And of course, with that, we've recorded tremendous number of success, and I want to tell you that.
Let's hear about the success story now.
Yeah.
Because it should be a practical aspect. Are they people who have been maybe you can put names to it, or maybe names to the persons, or maybe remain anonymous, or a case study? Because in law, it's about case citing. So where and how did anybody or benefit from such largesse, or the act? What you guys what the PPDC have been doing within this few period of time?
Yes, because of law and demand, we will not want to mention direct numbers. We'll give concrete examples. During the End Bad Governance protest, you remember the End Bad Governance protest that held nationwide? It also held in Nasarawa State. And PPDC put in representation and made it possible for 54 bad governance protesters
Across the country?
No, just in Nasarawa State. I'm just talking about Nasarawa State. 54 persons that were arrested. We went to court, put in an appearance, and they were released. So for us, we hold that it is people's right to protest peacefully, as long as you're not destroying government property or not obstructing others. For you to say, I am not happy with this, it is your right. So PPDC put in representation, and those 54 persons were granted bail here in Lafayette. And we have several cases. We have like a man that was arrested because he said he was a security man. No, he had a person that was a security man in an estate. He liked a girl, and because of one of the security man had asked him to leave that lady that he liked. And then since he said he would not leave the lady, and the lady liked him, the security man framed, when there was a robbery in that estate, the security man framed him up and said this young man is part of those persons that came to rob. And he was taken into custody. He was charged to court. PPDC put in representation. When we interviewed him, we found out that, to our own estimation, he was saying the truth. We put on representation for him, and today he's a free man. And we have lots of cases, and I also give you the recent example, the Timilayin's case. That is a man that was allegedly murdered his girlfriend in Orozo. Yes, so from her facility. Now, my Lord Justice Oputa had said that justice is a three-way traffic in the case of Josiah against the state. Justice for the victim, justice for the accused, and justice for the society. Yeah. The society needs to feel justice, and justice should not only be done, it should be manifestly seen to be done. So in that particular case, I am happy to tell you that they are using a facility to hear that case. The case is being heard in Court 2 in Lafayette. It's a virtual court facility, and litigants all over the world.
So now, Timilaye may not be in court, but it might be outside the court.
Yeah, it can be in the custody, and then with our virtual hearing facility, the proceeding will go on, because we found out that it is not as it stands now. The society is interested in the case. People want to understand what happened to this case, how did it happen. So with our virtual court facility, even you viewers, whenever the case comes up, you could just, once you get the link to the virtual court hearing, you could be in your office or in your bedroom to participate in the virtual court hearing to see how the case is proceeding. So we have multiple examples of breakthroughs and successes that our project is doing in Nasarawa State.
Very well said. Listener, once again, this is Breeze FM 99.9, and it's a special interview section with the Public and Private Development Center, and the topic changing lives through justice, the PPDC impact. And in the studio, we have Joshua Uba, the Nasarawa State Programme Manager, Public and Private Development Center. And then he has been dishing out some of the success stories, and one of them that caught my attention is the Timilayin case, because most Nigerians are thinking that that case may be swept under carpet. With the virtual hearing facilities, and with us, some of us watching and following in our homes, I think in a Nigerian parlance, justice will not be swept under carpet. It will be served, and then both the victim and the perpetrator will have justice at the end of the day. All right, let's talk about this as we begin to coast home, because time is not friendly, as it were, right? Okay, let's see, what is the impact so far in terms of the number of detainees supported and service rendered, like legal aid and bail facilitation? Can you just give us the impact, maybe in few words?
Okay, firstly, we are able to give hope to people, to indigent persons. There are some persons that find themselves in situations and they cannot afford a lawyer. we already have pro bono lawyers to give to them.
So are you working? Are you complementing the job of or other agencies of government, like legal aid? And,
exactly. We are partners. We partner with them to provide this pro bono legal service. We partner with MBA, Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, and again, we are also boosting the capacity of court officials and other critical actors in the administration of criminal justice. We've conducted training. We've conducted training for court officials, for the police, for NCOS officials, and all whatnot, and all those in the criminal justice space. We are boosting their capacity. We are empowering them with knowledge. And I want to tell you, as at 6 December, we have provided...
Of which year? 6
December 2024. Total cases handled by our duty solicitors was 489 as at 6 December. If we tabulate now, you find out that the figures have increased tremendously. And we have 603 total cases, with male 546 and female 608, and due to the effort of our duty solicitors, 205 persons were granted bail successfully. Remember, the law says if you arrest someone, charge him to court within 48 hours or grant him bail.
All right. If we were to do a bit of marketing and tell people, can you tell people why they should access justice matter to everyone? Why the access to justice, just your group now, matters to everyone? How does it matter to an individual who is at home, who may not even have a case to yet, or who perhaps knows somebody who's indigent? Here we mean poor people who cannot pay for lawyers. How will it interest such a person, even those who have never rendered, been arrested or gone to court, for instance? Because I keep saying we are potential inmates, because if you offend traffic offense or whatever thing, you can see yourself in the police station or at the correctional facility, maybe in the court. So for those of us who one day may see ourselves there, how do we buy into this program of yours, Access to Justice?
So firstly, why we are doing, there's an adage that says, when you throw stone at the market, you don't know who it will hit. It might hit your mother, it might hit your father, it might hit your brother or your relative. So why PPDC is doing this is that we want justice to be swift, accessible to all. We want the society to be safe, because when justice is served, everybody is safe. For instance, when Mr. A knows that if he steals a gun, if he steals the shoe of Mr. B, that he would be punished as the law requires. He will not spend 10 years. And Mr. B knows that if something happens, that this matter will not drag 20 years. He would get justice immediately. We'll find out that the society will be safe. The society will be safe for not only Nigerians, but every other national in Nigeria. And then the society will be prosperous, because commerce will be boosted. Trade and commerce will be boosted, because people will think that if you breach contracts, the court is fast and swift, they will give justice.
Okay, let me just ask this one. Because most big men, yes, in quote, will say, let me teach this man a lesson. And take somebody to, maybe today's Friday, by Saturday and Monday, Sunday, no work, and before you know, they are dragged into the court, dragged into this. Do you think you don't have rivals? You don't have people who are opposing your coming to intervene? Like the files are well arranged now digitally, all of these things. So they should be challenged by people who were before now celebrating or maybe enjoying the lapses.
Yes, as I said, justice, nobody knows when he will be at the other end. So when people see, fortunately for us in Nasarawa State, we enjoy robust cooperation from our stakeholders, from the Chief Judge of the Nasarawa State Judiciary, the Chief Judge of Nasarawa State Judiciary, to the chairman of our PAC, Police Advisory Committee, my Lord Honorable Justice Aboki, down to the executive, the Secretary of Administration of Criminal Justice Committee, His Worship Honorable Yashafa, and Commissioner of Police, the NCOS State Controller, the National Human Rights Coordinator, and indeed every stakeholders in Nasarawa State. We've enjoyed robust partnership and support from them. And so the so-called influential men, everybody, not just to them, everybody now understands that in Nasarawa State, it is possible to get swift and efficient justice. So it means that people would want to do the right thing, people will not want to break the law, and people will not want to intimidate people because of their influence or position.
All right, as we custom, because time is not friendly, finally, what message will you like to leave with a listener today on the access to justice, changing lives program?
Yeah, I would want to say that firstly, I want to thank the Nasarawa State people, the government and people of Nasarawa State, and then to our listeners and the general public, I want to say that it is no longer it's no longer business as usual. We have to do the right thing. And then if your right is being abused, we have lawyers at the police station that will offer you free legal advice if you are indigent, if you cannot afford a lawyer. We have lawyers at the police station that will offer you free legal services. And then if your brother or your sister is arrested or is in custody, is in prison, any of the custodial center, and you know you cannot afford a lawyer, try to reach us. We have pro bono lawyers that will offer you pro bono legal service. And let me also say, in PPDC, we do not move for, if you commit an offense, we cannot tell the court that you are free. We dish justice according to, if you're free, we will support you. If you're innocent, we will support you. If you're guilty, we will also apply the law so that you get the punishment that the law has stipulated for that offense.
I don't know if you can assist our listener telling us where your office is located, so most of this will be discussed there in case they want to know where you are located in Lafia.
Yes, our office in Lafia is located at Al Makura Plaza off Shendan Road here in Lafia, and our website is www.ppdc.org. We are on all social media platforms. Just type PPDC. You could get to us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, any of the social media platform. You could get in touch with us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua Uba, Nasarawa State Programme Manager, Public and Private Development Center. Yes, listener, we've been talking on the topic changing lives through justice, the PPDC impact, coming from the stable of Public and Private Development Center. And this is Breeze FM 99.9, and we're hoping that you've gotten a bit of what you needed when it comes to accessing justice, the modern way, the global way, and that's what the PPDC have come to salvage as it was not in the past. So Nasarawa people, take advantage and make this count. My name is Edwin Philip. Stay tuned and stay blessed.
We are Lafia's favorite station, where conversations flow like a gentle breeze.
What's my favorite radio station?
Breeze FM 99.9. Lafia's heartbeat pulses through Breeze FM 99.9, where conversations come alive. Feel the talk.